Yes, go ahead and Jazz, you know what to do. Yes, this is Andrew Balongo Pere, and welcome to Valk Talks, the voice actors resource so that you can grow in your career as a voiceover artist. So whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional, this space is for you to learn more about the craft and about the industry. And as you're trickling in, for those of you who are just coming in right now, let me just share the rules of engagement. Please, while the speaker is speaking, please mute yourself so that the background noise does not interfere with the main speaker. And also, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type Q semicolon before your question so that we can track the questions and give it to the main speaker whenever she or he is ready to take the questions. And also, if you're having any issues with your audio, the best way to fix it is try logging off and then logging back on. And then when you're logging back on, make sure that you highlight whether you're joining in by Wi-Fi or by cellular data. Make sure that you highlight that so that your audio is activated. So this session is a very special session because we're going to be learning about how to network and how to market ourselves both offline and online. Because if people do not know you as a voiceover artist, then how can a client give you that job? And both of our speakers are going to be addressing that. So I'll go ahead and introduce our first speaker, who is an international voiceover talent all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. And she has about 4 years of experience as a voiceover professional with a very exciting portfolio of Nigerian and international brands. And she's so passionate about the business of voiceovers that she committed to doing this full time. So she's the best person to speak about all these topics. So she's keen about learning and sharing her experiences about P2P sites. And if you have no idea what that is pay sites. And I think
Everyone. Good evening, and
good
thank you
evening,
so
Seyi.
much for having me. That introduction is like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm blushing, but I'm super happy and excited to be here. Lovely, lovely, lovely day. And I've been looking forward to this. You know, I love platforms that allow me to share and whatever it is, my experience or my knowledge, share that with people who, and by one way or another, touch lives. So without further ado, I will proceed to my presentation.
And just as you're starting on your presentation, please share with us a Swahili phrase so that we can vet how good your Swahili is.
Okay. There's one that's my favorite. Mimi nim Kenya. But then I'm not Kenyan, yeah?
Yes, you're not Kenyan, but at least you've said it well.
Okay, okay. All right, so I will share my screen and we can proceed.
And as you're sharing your screen, what are we expecting from you in this presentation?
So, like you said, we will be talking about P2P, which is pay to play. And later on, we would have Cynthia talk about marketing and networking and how you can, sell yourself and your voiceover business, make it big, especially online. So I would specifically be talking about getting started on pay-to-play sites, how you can build your profile in a way that's like going to be very attractive, the key things that you should note, key things that you should put in your profile, like the most important things, the things clients are looking out for. And we would look at some like live profiles just for reference. So you don't just hear in theory, you can actually see some other people who have these profiles, and then you can like reference them on your own later on. And then we would have some fun activities in between, and you can expect more tips. I'm so excited because it's packed.
So, turn the cousin.
All right, here we go. Making the most from P2P. Making the most from P2P. So, what do you want to expect? We're going to have just some fun questions. We're going to answer some fun questions just to break the ice and like hear from everybody. Please use the comment section to answer, and we can just pick it up from there. Then we'll enter into the world of P2P. That's pay-to-play websites. Then we'll talk about how to build attractive profiles. Then we'll look at some profiles, like I said. And then we'll talk about customer or client relationship management for pay-to-play website. Just like every other business, or just like every other platform, wherever there's a client and the service provider relationship, there is some relationship management that you would need. So we'll talk about that very, very briefly. So here we go. What I want to achieve with this session is I want to help bring a lot of clarity to whatever questions you have on pay-to-play websites as much as possible. So even if my presentation does not answer your questions, please feel free to drop the questions in the comment section, and we can also address them later. Moving on, Andrew has already helped with my bio, my profile. You can check me out on social media at Seyi the Vibe, Seyi_the Vibe, just if you want more or to get to know me better. I'll just dive into our first activity. Yeah. You know, there's this game we all play at parties and we say never have I ever. So get ready to use your keyboard. Here, you just have to say yay or nay. And yay is like, I haven't. Yay is like, I have. Nay is I haven't. So never have I ever. Never have I ever recorded a demo with a mobile phone. If you have recorded a demo with a mobile phone, you can say yay. If you haven't, say nay in the comment section. Let's have it. I personally, I have. I guess that's a confession, but yes, I have. Let's have you in the comments.
Yes, the comments are streaming in hot. A lot of yays. I'm not seeing a nay yet, so I guess it's common practice.
Oh my gosh. I feel like there's hardly anyone who wouldn't have, because a lot of people have maybe emergency situations, aside some people starting from using their phones. It's almost common practice. Okay, moving on. Never have I slept in the studio. For this one, I feel like it should also be kind of, yeah.
So far, 2 nays.
Wow. You've never slept? I have slept in the studio. I've slept in studios. Oh my gosh. I know it's oh.
Okay, it's neck and neck. 2 nays and 2 yays.
Oh, okay. And there's people like me.
Okay, 3 yays, 4, 5. Oh no.
Wow. Wow.
4
wow.
yays,
Okay.
3 nays.
Okay. Moving on. Never have I ever submitted a wrong demo sample. My gosh, this one happens. I would be surprised if there is anybody who has never done this.
Yay. Oh gosh, yay. Okay,
wow.
Jazz says man. You know, Jazz is an ultra professional,
Yeah,
super
I need to
voiceover
like
artist, yeah.
I need to glean from your what's that thing called now? Attention to detail. Because sometimes even with the sometimes with the best attention to detail. Like you go over the mail, you go over your proposal, and you still, just sometimes it happens.
Okay, this one
But
seems
what
to be
matters in
balanced.
this, what matters in those situations is how you come off it and how you move past it. So such like how you salvage the situation, whether you have opportunity to recall or you just send a mail to make up for it. One way or another, what matters is how you fix it. Yep. So I will move on from this activity and go to the next one. For the sports lovers here, the first one is for you. So this one says, like, would you rather? Would you rather, so you pick one. Would you rather watch the World Cup in person or watch Formula One in person? So you type which you'd rather do. Watch the World Cup in person or watch Formula One in person. Cynthia, I know that I've put you in like in between a rock and a hard place because it's going to be a hard choice. But for everybody else, please let me know what you think. World Cup in person, Formula One in person. Which do you prefer?
So far, we have one F1 and we have 5 World Cups, and someone is trying to spoil the vote by saying both. Okay,
Oh,
6
wow.
World Cups.
Okay.
Okay, Kimola has actually switched her vote from F1 rather than World Cup.
I said it. I knew this one would have Cynthia between a rock and a hard place because she loves both. So, which would you rather do? Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Yes, hi.
Moses Shira here. Andrew, hi.
Hi, Moses.
How are you, Moses?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm unable to type in, but I'm really loving the game here. Would you, is it okay if I join in audio just to, chime into the game?
Okay, we'll allow you for here. And
Yeah, sure.
yes, Seyi, Moses is one of our voiceover artists that is is visually.
Oh, yes. Hi, Moses. I did
How are you?
see a link to your video and I was like,
Did you?
amazed.
Wow. Thank you.
Amazing. I love your talent. I love your resilience. I must say that.
Thank you so much. And I'm loving the game, and I'm looking forward to this whole session.
Oh, I'm so happy it's inclusive. Well, inclusive
and
for
my
you.
vote, it's definitely World Cup.
No, World Cup in person. World Cup happens like once in 4 years.
Exactly.
And
that's
Formula
the
One
exact
happens
part
like
of it.
every other year. So, and then there's like different seasons, if I can put it that way. I know it's not called seasons, but like there's variations. They have the one in Paris, they have so please.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Exactly.
I hear you, but still, I'm
but let me not influence let me not influence you guys. So moving on, which would you rather be? This one is specific to voiceovers. Which would you rather be? The official voice of the World Cup. Now this one, you'll be voicing the ads, live announcements, everything fun and interesting for the World Cup. You'll be the official voice of the World Cup. Or the official voice of Barcelona FC. So everything that Barcelona FC has to do that needs a voiceover representation or performance will have your voice on it. Which would you rather be? Hits me.
Oh, on this one, I think I'll stick with Barcelona.
Interesting.
Okay, and while he sticks with Barcelona, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 World Cups and another Barcelona.
For the World Cup, I would think maybe I'm thinking of the reasons, but then they both soccer, right? So it's kind of hard to choose, isn't it? They both soccer. One happens, like I said, once in a couple of years. The other, Barcelona is always playing. they're on FA Cup, they're on this cup, they're on UEFA Champions League, they're on, so there's like, Barcelona is always everywhere.
That's
so
true.
there's like a guarantee you would have, you'd always have gigs. You'd always have something doing.
But if you
Unlike
compare,
being the,
if you compare, World Cup is worldwide, so it'll be known all over the planet. And it's, it's like having that concert where everyone shows up.
True.
So you're gonna be known all over the world.
Very true. Valid. Trust me, I agree. The conflict, where the conflict comes, it's just like, would you rather play for Barcelona FC? Don't mind my comparison, but would you rather play for Barcelona, or would you rather play at the World Cup representing your country?
Okay,
I guess in that case,
someone agrees.
In that case, people would rather do Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying Barcelona is consistent cash flow for me. Washeke says true.
Exactly.
It's a heart thing or a business thing or opportunity thing.
Yeah. True that. Okay. So we'll move ahead. Now this one is very important. Please pay very close attention, because whatever you say here, we'll come back to you later. You will use it. It's for you. So I want you to just, in one word, describe yourself as a voice talent. Just one word. Describe yourself as a voice talent. There's nothing that is bad. Nothing is awkward. No word is wrong. I had a teacher who used to say, there are no right or wrong answers. So here, no right or wrong answers. Let's have you. Describe yourself in one word. I see the chat is popping.
I'd say creative.
Creative. That's good.
Sure.
That is a good one. Thinking of it, it is creative. Strong. Strong because it could mean many things at once. Okay. Andrew, what do we have in the chat, please?
Wow, we have so many. We have versatile, passion, bold, dependable, motivational, calming, energetic, reliable, another calming, dreamer.
Okay. I like versatile. I like dreamer. But anyways, like I said, no answer is wrong, and there's no right, no wrong answers. So let's move on. I hope you guys are ready. All of that was just to, like, just like oil to the joints of an engine, just to grease us all up and get us charged up for what's coming. So let's start. So first things first, just like anything, if you want to get started on something, you need to know what it is before you enter. Yeah. As I said, enter, I just recalled to enter a place, you knock the door. It's just like manners, yeah? But it's the right thing to do. If you don't know about something and you're interested in it, the best thing is to first find out what it is. So the first question, what? P2P, pay to play marketplaces are the platforms that you find online where you can get voiceover jobs. They're basically online marketplaces for voiceover jobs. Now, some people there's a ton of them. There's a ton of these P2P sites. Some are industry specific, and some are, some are free, some are industry specific. When I say industry specific, they're like limited to one particular industry, which is in this case our industry. And some are paid. You have to like pay for different subscription um, packages. It varies per platform, you know, and I'm sure you've encountered one, at least one of almost all of them. So moving on, our friend from Voiceover, Al Black, he's one of the founding members of Voiceover. He just categorized them into 6. The general ones, that's like the general freelance or escrow, the gig posting board websites. So the general ones are the ones that they are not necessarily skilled to voiceovers. They are marketplaces where you can find jobs for design, for example. You find jobs for graphics, website design. You'd find jobs. You could even find technical jobs, other technical jobs. You could find writing gigs, translation gigs. You just name it. The ideal marketplace for remote work. These are the marketplaces for that. They do post voiceover jobs. There are some voiceover jobs that they do post, but you have to carefully, I repeat, carefully consider when using these platforms for voiceover jobs. I'll come to details on that later. So moving on to the next one, it's TV or film and entertainment pay-to-play subscription sites. So TV pay-to-play sites, these are the ones that are majorly founded for production. So that's like video, movie, animation, video games, all of that. So production of those kind of production projects. These are the platforms for that. And an example of that is the Alumni Network, Backstage. Backstage is internationally known and they're very, very popular. And they also founded the Alumni Network. So moving on, voiceover P2P sites. So this is where we are going to sit down and cook a lot of things today. VoiceOver P2P sites are the ones that are industry specific to us. They apply to us. This is where you would want to spend a lot of time trying out different ones if you want to. And they have different subscription packages depending on the platform. You have Voiceover, you have VoiceOver P2P sites, you have Voices, you have Voice 123, Casting Call Club. There's a ton of them. I will share a link later on where you can access a comprehensive list of all of these platforms. So just so you can have a look at it and get to know them better. Commission-only marketplaces or platforms is commission-only is pardon me. So commission-only marketplaces or voice bank sites, yes, they are the ones the platforms where you can file, majorly just post your profile, and then they can get you jobs. You do not necessarily have to apply for these jobs, and the pay is usually good. Let me just put it that way. The pay is usually good, and that's one thing that differentiates voiceover P2P. That's like the one that is industry specific to us, and the general one. The general one sometimes, in fact, most of the time, the pay is not as good as voiceover P2P sites. You could see jobs on, for example, Upwork for $5. But in recent times, I hear Fiverr is working good for people who do voiceovers. Just like, some platforms are incorporating the Fiverr model into their business, their processes. So it's making sense now. So you can also add Fiverr, you can try Fiverr. So moving on, we have non-exclusive agencies or studio production voiceover firms. So examples of these are like Adelphi Translations, Wolfstone translations. There's like a ton of them, and they are present all over the world. I've met agencies from Germany, agencies from Brazil, India, UK, just name it. They're scattered everywhere. And these are like the agencies who, they don't have exclusivity to the talent that they sign, basically. So they would come scouting for talents. They use that's why it's important that we are visibly present online. So the use of your online presence, it cannot be underestimated. So they search and scout for talent, and they sign you on. They are mostly translation and adaptation companies. So they adapt content for, say, subtitling, translation, dubbing, all of that stuff. That's their core. They do not exclusively own talents, rights to talents, if I can put it that way. So you may see on their site, you see one person, just for example, you see me on Adelphi. You will see me again on Wolfstone. You can see me again on, just name it. It's because there's no exclusivity, and they're fine with it, you know? So moving on, then we have the primarily exclusive representation. So these ones, they are the people who primarily, like it says, exclusive. You would sign that contract. They would do their best. They're like agents and managers. They would do their best to make sure that they sell you and they sell your talent. It takes a whole lot. This is like, for some people, it's the zenith of, should I say, goals for voiceover talents for some people. Like, that's the height. You get into the height where you're signed to an agent, or you have like a talent representative, an actual exclusive manager who represents you. This person is, their job essentially is to represent you, pitch you to their clients, get new business opportunities for you as a voiceover talent. That is solely their job. However, commissions come in. The matter of commissions come in every now and then on most of these platforms. That's why they are pay to play. Examples, let me mention examples of agents and managers, primary exclusive representation is ACM Talent. I think that's owned by Magos. Trailer Voices Agency, owned by Brent Allen Hagel. There's a ton of them. Like I said, I will share the resources for you later. And then I think some people here are also signed. There's the more domestic one in Africa. I'm sure there's a ton of them as well, but I know of Intertalent. I'm signed to them, and there's a ton of people here as well who are signed to them. So these are exclusive representatives. They do their job really well to represent you and, sell your brand as a voice talent, get you business. They would take their commission. This is the difference, where the difference comes in. They would take their commission. The commission is just what's different. With that, let me just move forward. Let's proceed, yeah? All of these voiceover pay-to-play sites, all of them have their terms and their conditions. And over time, I have carefully weighed them before coming up with the ones that I personally prefer. Now, this is my personal preference. It does not mean that it will be yours, because in this industry, there's a lot of things that come to play when people are choosing voiceover talents. When clients, because the demand keeps evolving. There's new taste for African talents. There's taste for accents. There's taste for impressions and different other new performances. And then there's new genres of voiceover that are even taking the space by storm, and a lot is happening that you just can't box yourself. Those are the things that you have to consider. So when I talked about commission, yeah, I ranked all of this in how I have benefited and I have experienced. So in my experience, I'll just pick number 2 first. For Mandy, you get to pay a monthly subscription of about $7.5, $7.50. The monthly subscription comes with its perks. You'd have access to the same jobs. It's a monthly subscription. It's great if you just want to start on P2P and you're ready to pay. However, there are opportunities for free or guest subscription. So you can still stay on the guest or free account. However, you won't see the details and you won't be able to access the audition. So you can maybe just see the notification or the headlines. You won't be able to apply. So for Mandy, if you want to benefit, you just have to pay the subscription. It's just that simple. Note, Mandy is not a voiceover specific platform. So the percentage of voiceover jobs that are posted on Mandy that apply to us as Africans are limited. It's very low. Compared to just, for example, TV director roles, actor roles, they update roles like that every day. In fact, per hour, they post a lot of actor roles, dancer roles, such roles that relate to, actual movie and film and TV entertainment productions are best seen on Mandy. And like I said, it's not exactly as favorable with that same percentage for African talents. I must also mention that it has favored some people. I must say that. And I have used Mandy to improve my personal client list, if I can put it that way. I have networked, I have met podcast producers, I have met international studios on Mandy within the time that I had the premium subscription. The good thing about Mandy is the subscription is monthly. So if you do it this month, you're not satisfied, you can go off, get on again in 2 months and, try. You never know, it can work. I know a friend who gets almost regular. He gets at least 1 gig in 2 months from Mandy. So he has stuck with Mandy and he's doing good. So some clients use Mandy. So the way we voiceover talents may be scattered on many P2P platforms, it's the same way clients are scattered on many platforms. Not all of them are on all platforms. In fact, a lot of them do not have that patience to be present on all platforms. They just use the one that they know or that is referred to them or that they are able to research and find. So I would move on to commission-only marketplaces. That's like voice bank sites. These, for example, Voiceover, you get to set up your profile. You can share that link, like your personal website page. It works just like your personal website, actually. You upload about 60 demos, 45 demos. You get a chance to upload 45 demos. And these 45 demos have to be in different styles, different genres. Do the best you can to make sure that it's of good quality. And they would take their time to vet and approve all your demos. That's the thing about Voiceover. So you have to be very intentional if you really want to go with Voiceover. It takes time and you can be discouraged. So you get to host your demos, your profile. If you have backlinks, you have videos, whatever it is, good luck with that. Just put everything on there as much as is demanded. And the good thing is, just like most other sites, the setting up time is the process to set up your profile is just as easy. It's not so tough. So I'd move on from that. Next, I have talked about Upwork, I've talked about Fiverr, and I'm sure we're aware of both of them anyway. There's Adelphi, VoiceBox Creative. Like I said, they are mostly subtitling and localization companies who just, they do production for localization of videos. Just for example, you know, the movies you see on Netflix that have all these features for you to listen in different languages, audio description, subtitles, all of that stuff. It's companies like this that work on that. Then there's Intertalent and ACM. I just did this just to show, for example. And then we have Casting Club. Casting Club, let me talk about Casting Club briefly. So Casting Club is a voiceover specific platform, mostly for people who are starting. I would recommend for when you're just starting, you want to just try it because they post a lot of jobs regularly. It's for independent, it's an indie marketplace. It's an independent marketplace for indie talents. So you have filmmakers, podcasters, small indie animators or video game producers who just want, they're producing maybe just for a portfolio or just for fun or for YouTube. A lot of them use Casting Club. It's a very, very, very simple to use and easy platform. I highly recommend. Then moving to Voice123. Voice123 was founded by Bonnie Inc. And so far, so good. Voice123 comes a little close to Voices. A lot of times I compare both of them. And that's because they're the ones I use the most. So Voice123 allows you to set up your profile, upload demos. You can even create playlists on Voice123. Now, the thing is, for Voice123, you're invited. So when I say you're invited, there's like categories and levels for the invites. And that's one of the biggest differences for the subscriptions on Voice123. If you're on the guest subscription, if it is not really relevant to you, you may not even be invited at all. They have that match thing, just like Voices has Job Match, where you input a lot of data about yourself and your voice. And then from all of that, those tags is what they use to match you to the jobs that the clients are posting so you can get invited. So when a client, for example, posts a job on Voice123, they post that job and then they would get a pool of talents that are relevant to that job. Then they would pick the top ranking ones are the ones that have platinum subscription. Those are the people that will get invited first. So even if it's a job that's relevant to you, if you're on a guest subscription, you may not receive it until like hours after the platinum guys have received that invite, which may be a bit discouraging. However, the good thing is Voices123 and Voice123 and Voices.com are the platforms where I have seen the most. When I say the most, I have seen the most, that's the highest number of job postings that are relevant to Africans. So I feel like these are the platforms where I am convinced, I don't just feel, I'm convinced these are the platforms where clients, home-based internationally, are looking for African talent. Our skills are in demand, our voices are in demand, and these are the platforms that people go. So there's those tags for the languages and accents that you speak. If you speak Kiswahili, by all means, please include it in your profile. It's one of the things that will help your profile pop. You speak Afrikaans, put it in your profile. You speak Yoruba, you speak Hausa, whatever it is at all, make sure to impute it in your profile. It's one of the things that help. I recall one of my first jobs, that I got in my voiceover career, like when I decided to go pro. It was from Voice 123. I had to do a couple of ads for Dubai tourism. I was super excited. I didn't know the process, but Voice 123 was the platform where I got that gig. And the good thing is, you can also take your conversations on Voice 123 beyond Voice 123, right? On Voice 123, you can chat with the clients in the message chat box, but if you want to, you can take your conversation and your payment, you can take it outside of Voice 123. That brings me to voices.com. You see, voices.com is it's a platform that is like super enclosed and built in such a way that it's almost an ecosystem. And I will explain that. On Voices, you get to see jobs. You get to apply for the jobs. You will see your money because they have a product that helps to serve for that purpose. Shopping. Then there's that job match thing that I said. It's their algorithm that matches you with the jobs that that are relevant to you. It helps clients find the best match for their job. It also helps you find the jobs that you're the best fit for. So it just helps you manage your energy on these platforms. If your job, just for example, if I see when I'm auditioning, when I'm going over, the jobs on these platforms, my attention is first skewed. In fact, sometimes I just filter the ones that I'm 100% a match. Focus my energy before I now, move on to the ones that I am less than 100%. And there are jobs that you're 100% match. There are jobs that you're 100% match, regardless of your accent, regardless of your language spoken. It just takes that consistency and tenacity. And then on Voices, you also get the chance to get jobs with the guest account. So I'll explain. You do not necessarily have to pay for premium on Voices before you start getting jobs, or before you appear in search, or before you find jobs that are relevant to you. Just your guest subscription, you've uploaded great demos, you have your profile complete. You can get private invites. A client can invite you privately, and then you get that job, and then you audition. Sometimes it ends up feeling like it was a job post made specifically for you. Sometimes it's like that. So the thing is, when people go on Voices, they are looking for talent, but they also have jobs that they want to post. So they may post, and they may just look at the talent and invite you privately. So it's, like I said, it's like an ecosystem on its own. And as I've also said, Voices, Voice 123, those are like my personal favorites. So moving on, I would say for every trade, venture, whatever it is you want to do, there's tools and measures that you have to take to grow sustainably. A painter has levels, has things that he needs to do. Someone who, a graphic designer can go from graphic design to UI UX design. There's a process for that, and there's things that they need to help them grow. Same thing applies in the world of voiceovers. So let's move on to how to build attractive profiles. If you have any questions so far, remember to use the chats and write Q, semicolon, and then go ahead with your questions so that Andrew can help us collate them for later. So this question, how do I build attractive profiles? This can be answered in many different ways. Yeah, demos and portfolio of your view work, audio or However it is, they are necessary for you to build an attractive profile. And when I say demos, it's mostly audio demos in MP3. That's the best format. And I think that has to do with size. You know, MP3 files are less heavy than WAV files for most websites. So they would prefer you upload your WAV, your MP3 format. However, Voice123 allows you to upload in WAV format if that's what you have. So moving on, make sure that you have your demos in as many styles and as many genres as possible. Commercial demos are among the most important, and that's because they are like the most regularly produced and demanded voiceover work in the industry globally. Commercial is like the highest paying for voiceover talent. So that's why you need to get your commercial demos right. Next, you can try narrations. That's another space, another genre that I can tell you has grown exponentially. Narrations are helping tell many, many stories. Narrations are appearing in movies. You watch King Woman, for example. There's the voice of a narrator welcoming you into the story of the ladies of Dahomey. All of that is beautiful. It's beautiful. So if you want to play in the narration space, try narration and have your narration demo ready. Explainers, companies use explainers a lot. Corporate videos or business presentation videos, that's another space. Have your demos ready and play with as many tones as possible. If you can do child voices, by all means, please try to have demos in your child voices. Do character demos, voice of God demos, just name it. And make sure that your demos are well done. Unique visual collaterals like, your headshots, testimonials, reviews, all of that stuff. And to sum it all up, one thing that I know that people love is a good story. So find a way to make sure that your profile tells your story. It's very important. At first glance, within the first 1 minute, just 1 minute, just looking at your profile, quickly scrolling, the client should be able to tell, oh, this person is an African talent. She's from Kenya. She speaks 2 languages. She's able to do impressions. She's able to do this. All of that should be stated clearly so that they can easily get you. Now let's address in detail the things that you should look out for your demo. Like I said, in the creative space, and just like for any career anyways, people want to see what you can do, what you have done. A painter would go ahead and do graffiti. A digital illustration person would go ahead and just illustrate for the fun of it and post on social media or their website. People do graffiti everywhere. It's a way of showing that this is what I can do or this is what I've done. Yeah. And from doing all of that, you're able to show that this is what I can do. So it gives the clients an idea of what to expect from you. And aside demos, if you've gone ahead to do a lot of work, by all means, please make sure your work is as presentable as possible and share it. Your demos and portfolio of work are very important. It's like, demos are like, there's a funny thing I wanted to say. Demos are like bait. Demos are like bait for a fisherman who is fishing. You need that bait to attract those hungry fish. And then there's the hook, but that bait is important. The bait is important. So what's a voice talent without some, great samples? I don't know, really. And you should have really, really good samples because they're an asset. There's no better name to as possible. Like I said, in as many genres as possible. Make sure to do as many demos as possible and have as many styles, as many genres as possible. So what makes a good demo? I will just breeze through this. A good demo is made up of, like I said, mostly two things. Great sounding audio. So there's no or little background noise. The noise has to be minimal. And clients listen out for this. It's something that they always listen out for. Then your vocal delivery. Some people may want to ask, is the audio without background music better than the one with background music? To be honest, it depends. Yep. At this point, it depends because it depends on what the client is looking for. Sometimes the client may want to try your voice against a background music. So the sample that you have, they may want to try it against the background music that they already have. So for example, Cowbell has their music jingle and they want to try a motherly voice. You have a demo in a motherly voice already. So they place your demo over their sound to see if it goes well. In that case, if you already have background music, your background music would not do you good. So that's why I said it depends on what the client wants. There are some cases that the client wants to also look out for the quality of your production. In those cases, your background music would not necessarily help you as well, but you may get away with it if you have background music. So it depends, yeah? As much as possible, avoid phone recordings. Only do phone recordings for like emergencies, and by all means, please get better quality audio to replace whatever it is that you use phone recordings for. And if you do use phone recordings, have them edited well in such a way that you all record them in a space that is acoustically treated, well padded, so that you don't have much of the ambience sound or noise. Now onto vocal delivery. This is the biggest deal aside audio quality, yeah? Your inflections, how you scream, the mannerisms, the tone, if the character says sound motherly, if the character is supposed to sound motherly, by all means, bring that mother out. Let's hear that mother. If the character is childlike, by all means, let's have that childlike experience from your voice. If you're supposed to sound animated, please let's hear that. Do your best to make sure that you're giving your best performance in every audio. My personal mantra is all my samples are done like I have gotten the job. If I have an audition demo to record, I record it like that is the job that I want to deliver to the client. Bam. Best energy, the same delivery, the same inflections, everything. So it kind of, when the client listens to it, it gives them a mental, they are immersed already in that delivery, such that it's like, this is the actual job that we're going to give this lady. And if that's not it, they can already see that I'm able to deliver because I have already done that in my demo, So let's move on from that. Okay. One very, very important thing to note, like I said earlier, create your demos in as many different styles and genres as possible. One thing clients want is to see that you can show your range. It doesn't matter if you're multilingual or you just speak one language. What matters is that you can show how versatile you are within that space that you body. Okay. So let's move on to visual collaterals. Your headshots should be well done. And if, maybe I know how the economy can be sometimes. So if it's expensive to get a headshot, just have one that is clearly an image that is done. You can use your phone. I have friends who started photography with iPhones. So what matters is how you make it work. make sure that the photo is telling your story in the best way possible. So whatever photos you're using for your profile, you're using photos that would help the client visualize you, see the person, position you as professional as possible while you're at it. That's why it's not uncommon for you to see pictures of people with headphones or in front of the microphone, holding their phone or tablet, or holding a, hard copy script and just voicing. There's tons of representations of that. It helps tell your story on your profile. And aside your headshots, you would also need, they're like thumbnails, but they're like images for your projects on voices.com, for example. You need such very simple images that have your picture and have like a headline of, they're like headline images, they're headers for your projects and for your demos. So you can have different pictures to represent the different characters that you're playing in each demo, especially on VoiceOverArtist. You can do that. You can also apply that to your projects when you're proposing your projects on voices.com. We'll come to that later on. Okay.
Yes, we'll come to that later on. And
yes,
this session has been so action-packed, and we still have a lot to go, but I'd like us to take a brief pause right here because we have another speaker to bring in on additional information on how we can continue networking and marketing. So I think let's take a small break here, Seyi, and we'll probably find some other time that we may continue with the end of this presentation. But asante sana.
It's my pleasure.
Oh my gosh, there are so many gems from this. This is definitely a video to rewatch, and even just have another session with you, just because the gems that were coming out, just the how-to, and so that we can see some more examples. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Seyi, for sharing your insights.
I will stop my video now.
It's all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you very much. It has been Seyi, international voiceover artist, who has been sharing some gems about the pay-to-play sites and which ones are you most likely to find the clients that you are likely to find work from. So keep tuned in to Valk Talks for more impactful information to further your career forward. Thank you very much. And now we'll end this session to start another session shortly.